Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am your humble host, Mr. David Null, also known as High Two Feathers, and I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite Creator. And I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings out there in the universe. So, good morning. It's 20 minutes after the hour. And so there's a greeting right there. I just finished doing a live stream with Robert V on the Milky Way channel. Hey, Mossy. And as we were logging off live stream and could see each other, um, this orb started going back and forth across the screen. And then it came from down up here somewhere and literally blocked off my face and went down. Now, there is nothing, there's no bug here in the house. There's nothing here. Okay. But whatever it was went across the screen. We both saw it, and I told Robert, I said, you know, you just now had your first experience with seeing an orb live and on camera. And I told him, I said, I don't really have a topic for tonight, but if there's orbs flying around my head, it would be, I wished that we had been recording it, but it went right, right down this way. And it was a big old sucker too. Looked more like a comet than an orb, but there ain't no bug here in the house, nothing flying around. And so whatever got picked up on the, on camera, it's a shame it wasn't being recorded. So I'm here right now to see if that, hey little orb, whatever little being you were, come back and fly across the camera again, because I'd like to catch it live, because Robert was like, did I think there's something back here. There have caught live orbs, here on my channel before, and haven't seen anything recently, but this was like really big and right in front of me in the camera. And Robert was like, what's that? Was that a bug? And I was like, no, there's nothing here, dude. You just saw your first real live orb, you know, live in color. So, but anyway, hey, Mossy man, how are you? And Scotty boy, how you doing? Y'all doing okay? So I'm hoping that thingy will come back by, but in the meantime, we can have a chat and see how everybody's doing. Uh, hey, Witchy Moon, how are you? There's, it seems like a high spiritual environment here in the house recently. And the fact that something just came across the screen, when Robert V and I were logging off from the other channel, is a proves to me that because I have felt that the house has been really active. And just a little bit ago, it's proven that, yeah, there's stuff floating around in here. It really isn't my imagination. I caught something out of my corner of my eye, earlier today, and I was like, man, it just feels like there's a lot of activity in here for whatever reason. But to have seen that thing come down on the screen, but as we were hanging out to log out of a StreamYard thingy. But that was interesting, you know. So something's floating around here in the house tonight, and I'm hoping must be something floating around outside too, because Duggar's jumping up and down and screaming. Have you seen orbs around your property? Oh yeah, I just saw one here as um, um, Robert V. We just got done doing a show. I think you were in the chat thingy. And as we were talking to each other, an orb crossed back and forth in front of me in the camera while Robert and I were chatting and saying goodnight to each other. And so, absolutely. And I have pictures with my camera, but I don't have a way of sharing the pictures with you, unfortunately. But I do have pictures of orbs here on the property. Absolutely, bossy man. Hey, Dead End, how are you? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Hey, Witch Moon, did I say hi? I'm best. Yeah, best I can be at the moment. Yeah, my topic for tonight, this morning, was going to be, working through it. Whatever it is, you got to work through it. There's some good times, bad times, you got to work through it. And so that's sort of my subtopic for tonight is you got to work through it. But if any of y'all see an orb float by or see something in the background, let me know. Point it out because I'm watching the chat and I'm also, trying to pay attention to see if anything's floating by. Whatever it is that came by earlier, come on, swing by this camera now. They probably know that I'm recording now. Because I mean, I started this live stream within a minute of after 2 minutes of after it had happened. So whatever it is still in the house, I think, unless it went through a wall. But it was a very interesting, almost ghost-like. Is everybody doing all right out there? Scotty boy, how you doing? You'll be on the lookout. Were you talking about watching for stuff on the screen? Well, this one was obvious because it went right in front of my face. It was almost like there was something on the screen. It was weird. It was really weird. Let me tell you, uh, I'm thankful, doing well. And I had orbs following me before when I was driving, when I lived in a small town in Central Valley, California. I don't know if these are the same kind of orbs. Hey Sheila, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It's a strange time for you to be here. Usually it's a lot earlier in the morning. But glad to have you. That's not what I mean. If you look for something, you will never find it if you stop. Yep. Well, the thing that went by earlier was just like holy mackerel. You couldn't, you know, because Robert was like, "What's that that just flew in front of you?" I was like, "An orb." I wish that it could have been recorded, honestly. But that's why I said, yeah, let's see if I'll just get on here and we'll have a chat. And my sub subject, you can't sleep. Yeah, me neither. And apparently, a bunch of us can't sleep. So welcome to the party. But seeing that orb cross over in front of the camera, I was like, man, I got to see if I can get this on film. You know, because there have been orbs cross in front of the screen before, so it would be cool if it happened again and I could record it. Because then it would, then it wouldn't be just hearsay. It would be like, there you go, there it went. But anyway, but my topic for tonight was going to be working through it. And, because y'all know that I've got my heart issues, and, yesterday was just a day that I just had to work through. Lord have mercy. I had so many incidents where I was short of breath, and I was like, man, my pulse is okay, and my blood pressure was a little on the low side, if anything. And, but boy, I just thought, golly, I feel like crap. And today has been an upswing. And I think I some kind of something because I did a lot of burping, and I don't normally burp a lot. I don't eat things that make me burp, but I was burping a lot this today. And as I got rid of the gas on my stomach, I was like, well, okie doke, I felt better. So, and have been able to, clear up and be here this evening. But so there, uh, old age has just, has kicked my butt here this last year in a lot of ways, and I refuse to give up. But there are times like yesterday, it wasn't like I felt like I was going to give up. I felt like I was I was going to, no matter how hard I tried, it was going to be taken out of my hands, so to speak. It's like I can't make myself feel better. I just have to ride this out. And so when you're in those situations where you can't change your position, I whatever, I can't make myself feel better. I wasn't in a bad mood, but I mean, no matter how I tried to feel better, it just wasn't working. The best thing to do is just kind of curl up in a fetal position and just ride it out. So in lifetime, too much in life, sometimes you just got to ride it out. But if I was to gauge yesterday on how I felt versus today or whatever, I'd have thought that I was just, the rest of the week was going to be like, I'm not going to be able to move. I'm not going to be able to do anything. I got things I want to do, and if I'm going to feel trashy, how am I going to get anything done? And oh, woe is me, and so. But today I feel better. But the point is that you got to work through the hard times, no matter what they are. You got to work through them. And no matter how hard they are, if you wake up on the other side, whatever hard time it is, then you have survived another day. And surviving another day, at times it seems like, well, God Almighty, I felt so bad yesterday, but I feel better today. So because I feel better today, yesterday I can push it away to the side. So now I have to work through today, which is better. So I work through the better days as well as the bad days. You know what I mean? You work through it all. You work through life, and work might be the wrong terminology, but you persevere through your days. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Mark. How are you? Dead end. My mantra is every morning is a victory. Absolutely, that's the way I felt today. A lady called me from WellCare, the checkup once a week, and she's asking me how I am, and I said, "Well, you want to know the truth, or you want me to lie?" And she was like, "Well, tell the truth." And I said, "I feel like crap. I feel like something sitting on my chest, but there's nothing wrong with my blood pressure." And I took my blood pressure while I was talking to her on the phone. And I said, "This is what my pulse rate is. This is what my BP is. This blah, blah, blah." "Well, that's all. Everything's good. You've been taking your meds?" "Yes, ma'am." "You've been doing this?" "Yes, ma'am." "Have you?" And she goes, "Well, why haven't you done this?" And I said, "Ma'am, you basically just woke me up. And I haven't had a chance to get up and stir about a little bit. I'm still kind of hung over from yesterday, which was a really bad day for me. I just felt like puke. I almost felt like puking. And just yesterday was not a good day, but I'm going to get over it today." Well, she kept, "Well, Mr. Null," and I could hear the concern in her voice, and I was like, "Honey, I got this. When we get done talking, I'm gonna go to the kitchen and see if I can find something I want to eat, because I haven't had anything to eat in 24 hours. Haven't felt like it, and everything felt like if I ate it, I was gonna upchuck it." So, but she was so concerned about it. I was like, "Calm down. I'm gonna get this," you know. But because I'm talking to you right now. Otherwise, I would have done hung up. It would have been too hard for me to have had this conversation yesterday. I wouldn't have answered the phone yesterday. That's how yesterday went. But but you work through it. And that was my point to her. She goes, "What about these days and whatever?" And I said, "Ma'am, to try to go to the hospital every time I felt tightness in my chest or something like that." I said, "That's just, I said, you just have to work through it. You just have to do it, whatever it is, you just got to work through it. You just got to live for the day. And yesterday I was like, oh God, I really, let's hopefully the week's not going to be like this. Okay, but and today was much better. Slow, but worked up to it, kind of thing. And but to the point though that I'm being productive by being on, and I was being productive by being on with Robert tonight, and that is a step in the right direction, other than allowing one's illness or feelings or whatever to hold you down, right? So, this is an upswing. So that's working through it. No matter how I feel, it's like, well, wait a minute, I'm committed to doing my Tuesday nights. I'm going to do it no matter what, you know and hopefully I feel better, and I'm not wanting to throw up or nothing, but to present myself and have conversation with folks, and do the storytelling reading thing with Robert. And so, but I just give it up to the universe. I say, you want me to do this? All right, help me feel better. That's all. That's my prayer. You know, help me feel better if you want me to do this. And boom, so far so good, right? So you work through it, but also for me, you give it up to the universe. So whatever yesterday was, okay, so maybe I just had to be down, because one thing I found out, I could actually walk around better today for whatever reason. It didn't hurt quite as bad. And I was like, well, that's an interesting twist. My back still hurts, but it was noticeably different today. So, in working through the bad parts yesterday, they, could hobble around the house today pretty good. So, all things considered. So, but working through the good times and working through the bad times, our attitude. One of the things that I have changed with myself is that on the bad days I go, well, today's not one of them good ones. Okay. And instead of worrying about it or trying to, oh God, everything's bad, and oh God, I feel terrible. Well, I did. And I was trying my best not to think, oh God, how bad I feel. I was like, it's got to get better, but I got to work through it. So, of all the things I've learned, working through it is the key. Working through it, regardless of what it is. Sometimes you're having a really good time, and sometimes you can have too much fun, like go to a party and there's things. And sometimes you got to work through that too, where everybody's having a good time, and maybe you don't feel as well, or somebody else is acting out and you got to keep an eye on them or something. So there are good times you got to work through as well. You might be having a good time, but somebody else may not be. So it's good for you, but then somebody else is being miserable. And so through the good times and the bad times, I think there's a song about that. Good times, bad times, ba da da da. Ain't that Led Zeppelin? I think Scotty Boy says, I feel better today than I did yesterday, but I still only have half as good as I will tomorrow. Yeah, that's about how I feel too, Scotty, for whatever reason. Are you thinking about death? Who, me? My bad days are definitely tied to the Schumann res. Yep, mine too in a lot of ways, and also where the moon is. We're going into last quarter, I think, or towards the end of, and I always do worse at the end of the moon versus the beginning of the moon cycle. So, yeah, any day that I wake up is a good day. But I felt bad yesterday because, poor Duggar, all I did was sleep. And he's like, you know, well, come on, Daddy. But all I did was sleep. And he would bounce from the chair to to the sofa, to his bed over there, to the rug and back and around. And poor guy, I let him out a couple of times through the day, don't get me wrong, but for me, going out with him and spending time outside now, yesterday was not that day. But so like today, I was so grateful that I felt better just because I could stand out in the sunshine and not teeter over. I was so grateful today. I'm always grateful, but today I was just extra grateful. With the sun on my face and standing in the yard, and I put my arms up and I was just, thank you, Jesus. you know, Today is a better day. Thank you, Jesus. And it was a nice day outside today, and would have went out later on, but we had that thunderstorm come through and it rained, so I just got to sit here and look out the window. But it was a nice rain. And they say that the lightning, helps put nitrogen in the air. So when it rains, hopefully that's raining down on the crops around here. Which, by the way, the peanut crop around here looks really good. I mean, really good. Don't know how it is in other places, but it looks really good here in Colquitt County. Let's see, have I been to another county yet? Well, sort of in Thomas County too. Some of the peanuts in Thomas County, they look good as well. But anyway, and I'm not going to get back into talking about peanuts, but we've got boiled peanuts coming up soon. Yum yum. Any of the boiled peanuts that are coming out now have been frozen. Okay, by the way, if somebody says they got boiled peanuts right now, it's too early in the season. They have not dug the peanuts yet. Soon, real soon, like within a week, um, um, they're going to be turning peanuts, and then it takes a couple of days for them to dry, and then they combine them, and then they from the combine they go to the dryers to dry them out even more, so they don't mold. They'll get moldy in a heartbeat, and so they have to be taken to the local dryers and so forth, peanut places, and they dry them to a specific. Um, they have ways of checking the moisture content, because if they don't, then the peanuts won't stay. They'll want to mold up in the package or rot. So you want to get that moisture content down just right. But anyway, so I haven't seen any orbs or anything go by, and I'm a little disappointed. What's the matter with y'all? You couldn't come back and be on screen, whatever that thing was. It was huge. It almost like a big old spider coming down. I want to see if it's in the house. I'd like to know what it is because I've never seen anything like it. Hey, Miss Sheila. They have in Bainbridge. I've got. Oh, you do? So they have turned them up. I know down in Donaldsonville they have huge farms down there, and but the ones that I've been, um, going here to Moultrie, I don't think they've turned their peanuts yet. So that's how I'm gauging them. But yeah, down there in Donaldsonville, when we used to play the carnival down there, they got humongous fields of peanuts, big fields of peanuts, acres and acres and acres. And so you've already got some, huh? Well, yum yum. Well, I knew, and it depends on how the rain has been too. But I knew that, right now is the time for them to be turning them suckers too. Haven't tried old peanuts before. I'm game though. Oh, and you got to get them, they got to be salted just right, Mark. They got to be salted just right. Dead end, can I ask for a reading? Yeah, you can ask. And some folks, and it depends on the peanuts. I can suck on a I don't have any teeth anymore, so I can suck on the hulls and just taste that brine that they've been cooked in with the salt, and just gum them puppies, you know. But but for us toothless people, it makes eating peanuts, you can actually digest them because they're cooked instead of dried. But yeah, you get tied into a little bag of boiled peanuts, and I dare you to only eat just one or two, as they say, because then all of a sudden you'd be down to the bottom. They usually come in little paper sacks about yay big, and they fill them up. And you'd be pulled one or two out, and the next thing you know, you're down to the bottom of that puppy. I'd lo- I'd be lost if hot peanut butter. Never thought about that. Hey, Lady Court, mostly listen, but boiled peanuts does done right or awesome. Yeah, and they gotta have that right amount of salt. And they're. I almost wonder if I don't know if you can get them too salty. You know. Um, yeah, Barry says, "Hey Barry, how you doing? I like peanuts uh, boiled better than roasted." Yeah, and because I don't have teeth, yeah, much better. Boiled peanut butter. Ooh, boiled peanut butter. Yuck. I could see, you could put peanut butter on toast and heat it up, and that's not too bad. But I don't know about boiled peanut butter. I put some. You got some you'll send later on today. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, Lady Court in LA, we had Cajun spice, and it's yeah, I like plain as well. Yeah. Um, there's a not Zatarain's. I got a Cajun powder that I use. And I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's Tony's, or it's in the green with white letters on the thing. But anyway, um, to throw some of that on there, yeah, I use that. Yeah, it's not real hot, but it is spicy, and it tastes good on stuff. Um, I haven't had any on any boiled peanuts recently. Cajun boiled Tony's, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Tony's, yep. But there's another one too, other than Tony's. But Tony's is one of them, absolutely. And if you're the one doing the boil, then you can take some Louisiana hot sauce and just dump a whole bottle in with the boiling you're doing, you know, and add your good bit of salt. And you got to salt it to taste, but yeah, when you think it tastes okay, you toss in a little bit more salt because it'll absorb the salt into the husks, and it won't taste salty. So you add that little bit of extra salt to make sure that you got it. Because to get boiled peanuts that ain't really salty to me is like, yeah, you eat them, but yeah. But when they got that right amount of salt in it, you just be, it's like, I'm an old popcorn fan because I'm an old carny, right? I got a huge popcorn popper out there in my trailer. And if you didn't get the right amount of salt on the popcorn, there was just, and some people go, The people that came up and bought popcorn from us, they were like, they always liked it because it was like, man, you do it just right. There's just enough butter on it. There's just enough salt, you know, and to where it doesn't make you thirsty, but you want to take another bite. And it's like, yes, uh-huh. So what, Sheila? You will love mine. I believe in the salt. Oh, hush. Without peanut butter made, and never had them boiled, but had hot roasted peanuts. And you don't necessarily have to be a southerner to like boiled peanuts. But if you, and I think, I don't know, I think northerners who've been south have tried boiled peanuts and they're like, mm-hmm. You know, that's one thing, it's like okra. Most folks down in the south eat okra. You get up towards Atlanta and okra is like, it's there, but you know, then you get up into Tennessee, okra, not so much, you know, certain places, but then you get higher up and what the hell is okra, you know? And so it's not necessarily a southern thing. It is sort of like grits in that, more folks in the south eat grits than they do up north. I still have issues with eating grits. you know I am shame on me. I'm still not a true southerner in that the way I eat grits. I would rather have them with sugar and milk. And and they're like, you're not a southerner at all. How can you do that? It's right when you lick your lips and taste. Yep, that's right, Sheila. We'll share us a big old bag. Yep, good to see y'all tonight as well. Absolutely. Yep. And talking about boiled peanuts, but um I truly wish that folks, like having been through Ohio a pretty good bit and seen the lay of the land, they grow a bunch of corn up there, my friends. And these huge fields of corn that's way over your head. Beautiful. And thinking to myself, we grow corn down here, but it ain't that big and not that much as there was I saw in Ohio. But at the same time, I didn't see no peanuts, you know, didn't see no cotton growing. A lot of other stuff I didn't see growing. So, Northerners to Southerners, we grow the peanuts down here, and they grow a lot of corn up there, so it works out, one way or the other, it sort of works out. Let me get, let me get my teeth. What? Anyway, there are people have without teeth and with and then with teeth. Yeah, yeah. That's one of the things that I need to get the try to get this next cut. It's too late this year to try to get teeth, but next year, yeah, I did back surgery and heart attack this year. I want to do teeth next year. you know, I got a plan. I got a 2-year plan. I was not expecting this other heart attack thing here this a month ago, but made it through. But that's working through it all. Um, the older you get, you never know from moment to moment what's going to happen. But I I had a friend of mine who lost her husband this last week, and they've been married for 30, 40 years at least, maybe I guess like 40 years. And it's a shame that she lost her husband. That he got a got had a stroke, and within a week he had passed away. And there are several people that I have lost, friends, half relatives this last year who had a stroke, and a few days later they were gone. So, I'm not fixated on death, but it's lurking. I can tell it's like lurking around me, not necessarily standing over me with a scythe going, come on, Hawkeye, we're waiting on your ass. It's your turn next. Nah, I don't feel like that at all. But I can feel it lurking, like some bitch. You guys call it peanut butter and jelly. We call it peanut butter and jam. Yep, that's right, dead end. Um, um, and my relatives up north say that um, you want to have a cold drink, you want to have a soda, and they call it they you want to have a cola. You know, it's different vernacular, but yeah. Yeah, you know what a jam sandwich is, right? You take two pieces of bread and you jam them together, and sometimes you put a little butter on them and you jam it. That's a jam. That's a jam sandwich. Soda is a cola. Pop. That's what. That's right. Witch Moon. My younger sister, she's like, "You want to have a pop?" And I was like, "A what? Oh, soda. Oh, cola. Oh, Coke. Okay." Crisps and fries. Yep, that's right. And to my English friends, a biscuit was a cookie. You know. Yeah, my relatives up in Ohio, they still call it pop. It's like that's the common vernacular. They don't. They might say a cola, but down here we say soda. You know. Yeah, or yeah, get me a soda. Yeah, I keep feeling like there's something back over here wandering around, but I haven't seen anything. I wish that entity would come back, the one that came earlier. Where you at? Make an appearance. Come back in here. You know. Sometimes it feels like there's stuff floating around back over here, back over, back there. My stove is right back over here, and the woods are back over here, and the back door over here, and there have been times when I have sensed things coming in and out of the back door, but there was nothing on this property before that I know of that there would be orbs here. But I've got pictures of orbs that I've taken over the years. Um, Down over where I had um, the sweat lodge, I've taken pictures over there, and there have several orbs have appeared over there, out in the field and up here in the trees. Orbs have appeared. That I've been able to take pictures of, and I swear one of these days I'm going to share screen and I'm going to share these pictures. Because rather than just talk about them, I'm going to go, see, I told y'all, see the orbs over here. See that this is over. See, I told y'all, not that you don't believe me, but I would rather be able to show you, the orbs that I've taken pictures of here on the property. Um, and I really wish that this one would come back that appeared earlier this evening. I'm talking about a big old puppy. Well, that was a giant palmetto bug that just crawled up and crawled away. You bugger. About yay long. Oh well. They run around the house. They can fly. These suckers can fly. And I have seen them out in the yard, and they'll you see this fluttering thing fly, and you, what the hell? And it'll land, and it's a big old roach. And it's like you can spray all you want to, but during the season when them puppies are around, I don't care how much you spray, you ain't gonna spray them because they're gonna get immune to it, and then they're gonna do, and then whatever. And I've seen people's houses; they don't live like I do, and they got more roaches than me, and I don't know what the deal is. I just, I don't necessarily get along with them. If I see them, they're gonna be a dead son of a bitch. And I use a soap solution. You spray them with soap, and when the soap dries on them and contracts, it gets in their pores and they can't breathe. And it's, and it smells good too, depending on the soap that you use. And if you add a little bit of uh, um, um, ammonia in with the soap, it'll kill them puppies dead, roaches and other bugs too, crawling insects. Gonna have to change the hermitage sign to a zoo. Hey Claudette, how you doing? What y'all doing up this late? Oh, it's actually early for some of us, but cockroaches, yeah, but they're not the cockroaches, them little German cockroaches that a lot of people get and stuff. I've seen fancy houses that have more cockroaches than I do, but I live in the swamp. I expect them. you know they crawl in under the door, and but at the same time, I've got some really large spiders that really like them roaches. You let one of these spiders catch that roach that's running around here, and I'll get him, but it's one, and they kind of run through like the mice do, and I have snakes who've been in the house and other critters too. So, you know, but you call them tree roaches. Yeah, these are big suckers. And no matter what you do, they're gonna come in. During the season, when they want to come in, they're gonna come in. But using my soap solution as far as spray on them, they're it very, it works really good, and it'll kill them roaches. They won't come back, you know. But it's just one of them things. When I had chickens, I would collect them and feed them to the chickens, and that made the chickens' eggs even more rich. And they can carry off small children. 1 a.m. I'm a nighthawk. Well, it's good to see you, Claudette. We having a we're having a what on the I lived in Saudi Arabia. Those cockroaches run and they fly, and they are huge, and you cannot kill them unless you stand on them. Well, these fly, and they make a really they some if you hit them just right, they make a popping sound. And I don't necessarily like it, but it's like they're dead when they pop. Okay, quit about the roaches. But I'm still waiting to see if that orbital will pass on by. I know I've talked about I know I've talked about this before, and I still haven't done it yet. But I need to try to learn how to use one of these other programs so I can share these pictures that I have of orbs. And um, so let me ask the question to y'all in the chat room. We're coming up on an hour. And if any of you got something to put in your bulb, we'll do a 20. I have an amazing video of my cat playing with an orb. Oh, really? That must be cute, honestly. But yeah, what are your stories? Have you taken pictures um, of orbs? What color are they? Do any of them seem like they have faces or eyes? Because some of the orbs that I've seen, they're translucent um, up to a point, and but some of them actually seem like they got lots of guts. Um, hey, Daromsk, back from an amazing. Uh, are you back from Thailand? Is that what you're saying? You could cry, good or bad? Good to be back or hate to be back? Woo! There goes my dog in a frenzy. Don't go through the window. Don't go through the window. Yeah, I'm glad you made it home safe. That's true. I've never seen an orb, but my dream world is full of them. There's they're interesting things, let me tell you. And what's interesting is though there are people. I was down on the river one night. This has been several years ago now, and some people came down in a four-wheeler, and they're sitting there and they go, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm taking pictures of orbs." And they were like, "What? Never seen an orb?" No. So I had my camera and I took a picture down the beach. And then when the flash went off and everything, and then I said, "Okay, look at this." And they were like, "What are those smudges on the camera?" And I said, "Those are orbs." And there were like 50 of them, not just one or two. I mean, a whole bunch was down there. And then I said, "Well, watch this." So I got close to their four wheeler and took a picture, and there were orbs right in front of their four wheeler. And they were like reaching out, and there's nothing there. And I said, "Yeah, there is." And I took another picture, and there was orbs all around the four wheeler. And they were like, "What?" And they were freaking out, buddy. And I was like, "Yeah, there are a lot of orbs down here on this beach down here on the river." And taking pictures of them before. And so, "What are you doing down here now?" And I was like, "I'm down here taking pictures of orbs and seeing what's down here." So, but anyway, they got a lesson that night. Of having never seen an orb, thought it was crazy. There's no way you can take a picture of them, and they were like all around us and all different shapes and sizes, and you could see them off in the distance and everything. So I'm surprised a bunch of people over the years, with having, been able to show them pictures of orbs while they're there, on the spot. See this? Yeah, it was so tonight. Robert and I have talked about orbs and things. And so when the one appeared tonight while we were talking, he was like, "Holy crap, what was that?" I said, "See, you just got your first glimpse of an orb, my friend. Live and in color. You just got to see it." So, I'm sitting here wishing it would come by because it was a really big one, you know. So what are they? They're spirit beings of some kind. I think some of them are interdimensional, and I think some of them are spirits that are just, roaming around for whatever reason. There are different colors of them, dead end. There are some, the ones that to me that are sapphire blue are the prettiest ones. They're just gorgeous to me in color. And they seem to be like the happiest. Um, Meaning the sapphire colored ones just seem, I don't know, to me they emit more joy than other types of orbs. The red ones are evil to me. They just, I'm sorry, the red ones I've seen were just, maybe it's the fact that red in some instances denotes the devil and whatever. But the red ones that I've seen have not been, they send chills up my spine. And years ago, I took some in a row. I always take pictures in a row, like, 30 seconds apart to show the same area and to show that the orbs have moved, and, and timestamp them so, you can actually tell. Wow, this is 30 seconds later, and the orbs have moved up here, and several more have come up into the foreground instead of being in the distance. But there was one place where I was taken, and there was some red orbs, and and taking them in sequence. 30 seconds later, a red orange orb would move in amongst some blue orbs, and the next frame, all the blue orbs would be scattered, and then the red orb would be the primary thing in there in the foreground. So then take another picture and it moves off and the blue orbs come back in. It's like, interesting. And there are orbs that are yellowish, that are, I I say they're sort of translucent. I guess all the orbs in a way are translucent. There are some orange orbs that teeter on red, and sometimes I've seen some of them orange ones didn't seem to be, you know, they make me cringe. Okay. That's, I go, ooh, look at that one, and I cringe. I look at all the yellow ones and the blue ones, and they don't make me cringe. So, and I mean, while I'm there, I can cringe. And then later on, after seeing the pictures at the house or put them on the computer or whatever and look at them and go, man, they still make me cringe, even though, I'm a long way from where I took the pictures. The picture and the reminder of it still make me cringe. So I had one I got pictures of, made me very sick. Really, that's not good. Are you seeing more orbs now than ever before? I'm seeing more activity here at my house, and there's something outside he really wants to go chase. It just seems like stuff out of the corner of my eyes has picked up tremendously, like 100-fold. I don't mean just a little bit, but I just always like, what the hell was that? And it seems like there's something there. Well, that white thing that dropped down in front of me this evening, I'm like, well, you really do exist. There really are things that are around the house, and that I'm catching out of the corner of my eye. Am I seeing them real clearly? No, but it was real clear when it showed itself earlier this evening. I'm still waiting on something to come by because it seems like there's a lot of activity in the house. Me and this palmetto bug are having an argument, and I'm gonna win. I got a spray bottle with soap in it. He'll try to get away, but I'll get him. No, but the thing about orbs, I've learned over the years to accept that they exist. And I have learned to accept that they exist on different levels. That maybe not all orbs are the same, but that all orbs represent other dimensional critters or entities, okay? And that it proves that they do exist, that there are entities other than us in this universe, and that we coexist with them all the time. I was watching a YouTube video of, I don't remember what it was. They were talking and explaining something, and in the foreground, an orb went by, and it just kind of floated by. And then there was one in the background, like back over here, that kind of floated out around, and then it dipped below, and they kept talking. And of course, they didn't know they were doing their video. But, there have been several YouTube videos that I have seen where there are orbs floating around in the person's house or wherever they're at. And because they're not aware of it, they don't see them, but they're on the video, you know. Yes, they're real. Yes, they are. So, but like I think the blue ones sort of fit together in a category. This is my assumption, okay, from my study and watching them. And so the blue ones kind of congregate together, and the yellow ones and the orangish ones, they kind of congregate together. And the red ones don't congregate with anybody because it doesn't seem like anybody really likes to hang around the red ones or the really dark orange ones. And they just, some of those colors. And also, let me add that there are fewer of the red ones. So there'd be 15 bluish ones and one red one, maybe. And, you know, I mean, literally 50 of them. They're just so deep, some of these pictures that I've taken down at the river. And there'd be one red one over here and an orange one over here, and but then the rest of one will be the bluish or or the yellow, and that orangish tint just a little bit. But so the classifications, I'm not sure whether or not you could say, well, personally, I think all the blue ones fit into a really nice, good vibe kind of thing, you know. I don't feel threatened by the blue ones. The yellow ones, I think, are transitional. The orange ones are a little bit more transitional, and the red ones are just pure damn evil. Segregated. No, but I think it's because of frequency. I mean, the good people are going to vibrate in a different way. And if you died and you were an asshole, then you're going to be on the red to the orange side. If you had a good life, like my granny that I've talked about, she would be in the blue category. So I don't think it's necessarily that they're segregated, but that's funny. I do think, that the different colors do represent, obviously, because different colors do represent different frequencies and vibrations. So, but it's been interesting, and they're segregated. Now they're not mine, okay, because I have been, when I go down to the river, they're not those aren't mine. And I really need to get those pictures out and show them because you would be shocked at how many orbs you'll see in a picture. You'll think, well, there's one or two, and then you start counting, and there's like literally 50 that you can see clearly. And then you go, wow, there's a bunch in the background too. Holy mackerel. And you go, there's 50 orbs in this. Yeah. And, and you take the picture and you realize that the orbs are literally right in front of your nose. They're right in front of the camera, and they extend for 20 or 30 feet down the beach. And you can see all these orbs, and it's like, holy mackerel. Yeah. So, and it's similar. The Oclockney down here is similar to the place I have been over on the Flint River. Now, I don't know why, but the rivers seem to collect more orbs, and I don't know why. I maybe the water energy. I don't know if it's the water that helps them. I don't know, but other than the fact that water in and of itself has a lot of energy with it. So I've gone down to the, to the river down there where I put in, and there'd be 50, hundreds of orbs. Because if you take a picture down this way, there's 50, and you take a picture down this way, and there's 50. There are hundreds of orbs around you. That's a 120, ain't it? Here we go. It's 120. Sheriff, you got them. So, like here around my house, I've taken pictures, and there are a couple of orbs, but there aren't 50 of them. You might be able to count 10. Take a picture over here, take a picture down there, take a picture up on the hill, take a picture around, and you're going to see a few, but there's only a few. You go down by the river, and there's hundreds, literally. So what's the difference? I don't know whether it's highlands, whether the water attracts more spirits, and so there is a collection there because of the water energy. But then when taking pictures, and I'm up on the hill of different places, unless it's around a house or something where or an old farmstead, where there used to be people that lived, and you take a picture and there might be a bunch of orbs, but just out in the field somewhere, it's like, eh. But I don't know what it is about water. So the Flint River where I've gone, lots of orbs. Oclockney down here, twice as many orbs as the Flint River, but still lots of orbs. So, what's the deal with the rivers and the orbs? I don't know. But that's one thing as I get better and can get back on the river again. Um, and I might actually have a partner that'll go with me. So, she texted me today. Um, she works at the local store over there, and we got to chit chatting. And she likes to kayak, and somebody stole her kayak, and it's like, well, I got three of them. When do you want to go? Here's my number. And so she lost my number, found it, and we're back in contact. So maybe I have somebody that I can say, hey, you want to go? And I won't be by myself in case I have a heart attack on the river. That's not a bad thing, a paddling partner. So, but anyway, and now that the weather is cooling off, I'm also looking forward to going camping back down there again and taking Duggar and let's take some pictures at night again. I'd like to see what the orb situation is because it's been a couple of years since I've taken pictures down there. So I'd be curious to see if they've moved on or whatever. I get more messages when I'm in water, river, lake, or curve, even in the shower. I agree. I agree. I'd say at the water too, because, and I talked about this a couple of years ago because it's been that long since I've been out. But when I'd go out in the middle of the night in the kayak and or the canoe and just lay out there in the middle of the lake, and I'd take pictures, across the lake and above me, and the orbs would look like clouds. They were so tightly packed above me, and just freakishly weird how many orbs. And you could take a picture over here, and there'd be a couple, and you could see them like it's almost like steam rising above the water. There'd be a certain height above the water. It's really strange, really odd. I really need to be able to share these pictures with y'all because you'd probably go, "No, I don't believe you. Where'd you take this picture?" There, there are hundreds of these orbs in this picture. Where were you? out in the middle of a lake, look up at the sky, and then take a flash picture. Well, aren't those stars? No, you can tell the difference. You can really tell the difference. So, but I don't guess that orb's going to come floating by unless it did and I didn't see it. And ain't none of y'all said you seen it yet. So it's the final countdown. There's a movie like that, right? And I'm not sure if I understand what, the Armageddon, I guess. Water carries energy. Absolutely. It can be loving or quite violent. Oh, absolutely. I attest to the quite violent, having almost drowned a couple of times, do the song was by whom? By Europe? Yeah, I got it. It's playing in my head. Da da dum dum dum. Da da da. Yeah. By Europe? But yeah, whether or not I take my kayak or not, I can still go down to the beach. And the water's really low right now. It's like 2.5 feet. Lyrics different now. Um, but Duggar and I could ride down there one evening and take the camera and take some pictures and take some video too, actually, and see how it would turn out. I've taken video before of nighttime in places where in places where I have taken pictures that I know that there are orbs, but then you go do a video of the same place, it doesn't they don't show up. And it has to do with I'm convinced because I have tinkered with the flash settings that certain flash settings will make the orbs pop out better. You can see them more clearly than other flash settings. And not every picture do you take will they show up, but you change the flash setting and the exposure setting and get them just right and take that picture and you'll see all kinds of orbs. And folks say, well, that's reflection from the flash of the camera. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. You know, it's a sundog kind of. No, I'm taking these pictures in the middle of the night for crying out loud. It's 4 in the morning and I'm taking pictures. Sundogs, flash. Where is it going to reflect off of when I'm taking a picture over my head at the night sky with no moon? you know, where am I getting a reflection to show up 50 orbs right above my head? Sorry, you know. So, but you can take these pictures now too. And I've talked about the settings, and that sometimes when you open up the exposure, so that it takes less flash for something to show up at night. And if your camera's good enough and you can uh, change your exposure. Sometimes you can take pictures in low light without any kind of flash at all, and they'll show up nice and clear. So the same is true when you're setting up the camera to take pictures of the orbs. So you modify your exposure to where you open it up so it can see more light, and then you slow the flash down and then take your picture. It'll show a lot more than just taking a regular picture with the flash. So, but anyway, but there are those tricks that I have learned over the years, and there's been times when Sometimes I've opened up the exposure and changed it and not seen anything, and go the absolute opposite direction with the exposure to where you close the exposure down and to where it needs more flash. And then all of a sudden things show up. It works both ways. So, but when you're in a place that you want to test, then you need to take test shots in the same place with a different setting. Take another picture, different setting, take another picture, and then compare them. And you'll be able to say, wow, that setting, boy, there's, it was really bright flash, but it will actually wash out the orbs. You can't see them. But then if it's a little darker and there's a flash, then all of a sudden they're all over the place. And you go, wow, well, they were there two shots before. It's that the flash and the exposure settings didn't allow them to show up on your picture. So, but anyway, so being able to get the exposure setting just right on a video is much more difficult. So you have to be lucky if an orb floats by during a video versus being able to take pictures of these orbs, you know, that won't show up on video. They're all around you. Well, I can't get a video. Well, that's the reason you can't. You have to get the lighting just right. And back in the days of taking pictures with film, there were times when we picked up orbs, and we couldn't figure out what they were. Nobody wanted to discuss them. There were bugs in the picture or something, and that wasn't true. They were orbs at birthday parties and stuff, and people, just right after dark, and people outside sitting around the table, and you take a picture, and there are orbs around people sitting around the patio. But I gotta say that digital cameras make it much easier to take pictures of orbs on a regular basis. If they're there, you can get them on digital. Where if you had a camera before, that then you might get them, you know. Where now it's like, yeah, if any decent camera, you can change the settings and you can take pictures of orbs. So you too can be a believer if you've not seen them yourself. And I still haven't seen anything float by. I get them on my camera on the creek. Yeah, are there a lot of them, Sheila? I haven't been to the creek in so long that but yeah, I think about them sometime walking in the woods in the dark. Yep. Have you ever gotten? Because there's some people who've been in my backwoods, which is sort of your backwoods, just a slightly different location, but there's a couple of not so nice entities that live in our woods. Do you get that? Do you get the shivers at times when you're walking down there and just go, ooh, that was creepy? Because there'd been times where I try not to think about it, but ooh, that was creepy. I think if they want, they will be there for you to get photos of them. Scotty Boy, they're there anyway. It's not like they're waiting on me to take a picture of them. But I have pissed some of them spirits off before, and to where they killed the batteries in my camera. I mean, dead, brand new batteries, boom, dead. And then the next day the camera worked. So it's like they mess with you big time. So some of them spirits have power. they got some they got some clout. But the spirits are there regardless if whether or not we take the pictures. So one of the things that I have learned over the years, yeah, it is creepy, ain't it, Sheila? um I bet you it's one of them red orbs. Yep, little buggers. Um, I'm going to have to set. I it was sort of lost. My trail cam that Robert got, and because I haven't been able to walk around much down there in the woods and etc., I pulled it in and stuck it under the table over there and sort of lost it. And I wanted to set it up again, but there's a couple of pictures on there, and I want to say there might be an orb in one of those pictures of the deer from it in the back. Don't say that I like the good ones. Yep, I understand. Well, we try not to speak about them creepy ones, to this to those who shall not be named. You know, what are you talking about? We don't name them. To those who we do not name. Yep. And that's sort of like the with the understanding of the orbs for me. Um, it's that the fact that there are orbs doesn't creep me out anymore. The fact that I was down on the river and I took pictures with all them orbs and everything, and they surrounded me. They were out on the water. They were like, holy crap, there was a bunch. So, well, but wait a minute, they never harmed me. They didn't try to tip over my canoe or kayak. I did have some really strange moments out on the lake, like being lifted up and spiritually and stuff that I've talked about before, but nothing that was like it was creepy in that I took a picture and there was a bunch of them over me. That was creepy, but there I didn't get a creepy feeling from the orbs, if that makes any sense. So I think in general, the orbs have helped me to understand things about the differences in dimensional things, um, the fact that different dimensions do exist. It's not, well, I don't know. No, they do, because there are orbs that you take pictures of that are not in the visible light spectrum, but they're there. That's another dimension of this third dimension. So, yes, they exist. Absolutely. Well, and I've had a ghost appear to me that woke me up to get us out of a burning house. So he wasn't an orb, he was a shown up, full bodied ghost who had appeared that touched me. So not a wispy could see through him, nope, he was there, but only for a split second, or 2 seconds, but he was there nonetheless. So, there are differences, in my opinion, between ghosts and orbs, but because they both inhabit this other, they exist with us, but they don't. So there's a crossover, So there are those of us who have seen the ghost or, had psychic experiences or whatever, or have seen apparitions or poltergeist or things, um, they exist, but I don't think it's necessarily in the exact same realm of an orb. Now, there may be orbs that'll blow out a candle or move something, maybe. Um, I've not seen anything like that because most of the orbs that I've taken pictures of have been outside. I have taken pictures of orbs inside, but my vast majority have been outside. So my take on that is that, to have meditated, take a picture, orbs all around. Okay. So if I turn the camera off and I sit and meditate, knowing that I'm surrounded by these entities. And I meditate just to see what pops up. Like if any new ideas or any what, So, but my idea that when I was on the water that one time, when they lifted me up, they showed me this just different angle to the universe. And I think it was the orbs and those entities that gave me that information, that showed me that somehow lifted my spirit up to see it, you know. Hey, how are you, Ding Channel? Yeah, Channel, Channel 55. But so I do think that the orbs had something to do with it in that just because I was meditating and because they were around me and because, the conditions were such and, that I was asking, well, okay, universe, what can you teach me tonight? You know, and then the next thing you knew, it was bling, there you go. I'm being lifted up spiritually and given a new understanding of the universe. Holy crap. So, were the spirits hot that night? Yeah, or it was actually early in the morning. It was about 3 o'clock. I'm out there laying on the lake and, just sitting there floating, you know, and then have this spiritual, connection. So, was it the orbs? I feel they had something to do with it. Um, you know, I didn't necessarily hear a particular spirit talk to me like my guides will do at times, but I felt, that there was a definite um, spiritualness of the situation of lying there in the kayak and the feeling and looking at the sky and the whole nine yards. So it was a spiritual event. So, but out in the middle of the lake, it was like, well, were there spirits running around on the beach, or do they walk across the water, or where do spirits come from? To me, I think it was the spirit of the orbs that helped me to have that experience that morning on the lake. But one would say, well, wait a minute. I have felt like I have connected with the Great Spirit and with the universe, but aren't the orbs a part of that universe? Aren't they spirit beings? Because we can't see them. We can take pictures of them, but we can't see them. So we know they're there. We know they exist. We know their energy is there. We know that they can communicate because they bounce around and fly around and do stuff. They seem to be interacting with one another on what kind of level I don't know. But the fact that they exist, that in and of itself was an eye-opening awareness for me spiritually. Why? Well, because they talk about spirit. That's right. Well, I talk about spirit, but does it actually exist? Well, now here we get into that foggy area. Well, but the spirit spoke to me and they showed me these things and yeah, 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 yeah. But when you take pictures of the orbs and you take pictures of the spirits, then that says, wait a minute, I really am talking to something. I really have been receiving whatever because there are orbs and things floating around me. Holy crap. So, yeah, am I a little crazy in my old age? Yeah, I've been crazy for a long time. But the fact that now that some of them I have them on film and some of them I have pictures of, and some of them are like, wait a minute. So, the fact that you can see them, the fact that they fly around, the fact that, wait a minute, um, the spirit world does exist. So, can they communicate between each other? I think so. How? I don't know. But, so you send a message out to the universe. And if you're surrounded by, a couple of orbs and those orbs happen to hear you, and they go, oh, Hawkeye is asking for a prayer to go to Michelle. Okay. And so the little blue orb up there communicates to the blue orb near Michelle, and the communication is set up. Why not? Hey, Katniss, how you doing? So to me, that could, because they're interdimensional beings, and I say interdimensional, they're in their own dimension, but they exist also in ours, interdimensional. But see, that's how the Michelle, that's like, to me, could be the way it works. That could be how telepathy works, is that there's an orb that knows how to talk to another orb, and they're like, hey, how you doing? You know, just a thought. Not saying that is exactly, but just a thought. And because they are interdimensional, they're already in that frequency. So, hey, orb, may call, blah blah blah. Call Katniss for me. So dial that number for me. I'm a quick dial. Anyway. So, but the fact, when I started seeing orbs and I knew that they were there, and I began to interact with them, I'd take my drum down to the river. I would have a chat with them and then take a picture. I would have a chat with them, and burn some sage and everything before I ever started taking pictures, and asking the spirits there if I could take their picture, and so that they wouldn't be afraid of the flash. And whereas in times before, I would just start taking flash pictures, and I think it pissed them off. And so, but by talking to the spirits ahead of time, I've gotten much more results, better results. And I mean, not just one or two, but 50 to 100 extra just come in and be curious about who's that crazy guy over there with, taking pictures. And so more curious than afraid. But I have literally sat down in my chair there on the beach and had a chat with the spirits, and people like, what the hell is he doing? I'm talking to the spirits that are here. Well, how do you know that there are? Well, because they've taken pictures of them before. That's one reason. And the fact that I just believe that there are spirits all around us, no matter where we are, more in other places than others, but still. So I just believe that there are spirits around us. So I go into it with that thought. So, hi, how y'all doing? To all the spirits and all the creatures and all. I'm Hawkeye Two Feathers. I am here, to bring happiness and joy. I wish to, anybody that wants to hang around, come hang around, and let's share some good energy. If there's anybody around here that's having negative energy, we ask you that you stay around the edges out there. And so I'll have a fire going or whatever, and having conversation, and during my meditation, and during my ceremony, right? Simple ceremony, burning some sage and got a little fire going. But I thank the spirits and invite the spirits to come in, especially the good ones, like I said. And then I start taking pictures, and then the results have always been good. Versus when I used to just start taking pictures without asking, or whatever, and I got very mixed results. Like, you know, anywhere from they would just not be any there when I knew there was. We could see them in the background, but they wouldn't come up close, and then they would just kill your battery. And that was the other way they would let you know. So I don't guess this entity's going to swim by. Honor and respect, absolutely. And down on the Flint, there, I have taken my drum down to the river down here, but there was something years ago that I felt that I have when I go to the Flint. I have to take my drum. I just have to. And I have to do a little drum and say thank you to the spirits there. And it also draws them in, I found. Um, so, but yes, honor and respect, absolutely. And that's one of the things I'll say out loud. I am here to honor and pay respects to the spirits here. I wish no harm. I bring good energy. I wish to, share my energy with the spirits that are here. And, at my little campfire thingy, I'll invite you in and so forth. And, um, then the results are in by the pictures that I've taken sitting around those campfires, you know. So it's like, wow, they're they came in and they allowed me to take pictures for an hour and my battery's still half good. And that's with like a lot of flash. And there have been times when the battery should have run out because of how much flash I was using, and I still was able to take pictures. And so it's almost like they helped me to take pictures, when the camera should have died, seriously. You know, Lots of Indians lived on the Flint in this area. Yeah. And it's over there at Veda's where I'm talking about, Sheila. It's there at the boat ramp. That's where I'm talking about. And there have been different kind of feels of spirits there, when I have camped up there on the hill and just sit up there, and there's just the feeling that you get. There were old spirits, and there are times when I've been going to that spot there in Veda, for a bunch of years. And over the years, so it's almost like every time I go back, I say hi, you know. And I mean, I've been living here on this property for 40 years now, and we used to go 30 years ago. So I've been visiting and camping at this spot for a long time. But anyway, so sitting there around the campfire and doing a little ceremony, burning a little sage, and maybe play the drum a little bit. The feeling of I can hear the drum. There are some places where it's like, I can imagine a drum if I wanted to, but I don't hear it. But over there on that hill, on that bluff, I can hear the native drum beat. I'm just meditating. I can just boom, 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 hey, 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 hey. Can hear the singing. Can hear, can just hear it. Can feel it actually. But yeah, I would agree with that over there that, there were a lot of Indians in the neighborhood, and something happened in that area between the white man and the Indians. I want to say there was a massacre at one time in that area. Is also because of the spirits that I saw there. And when Marcia was alive, she told me that, some of the Indians had, said that there were different types. There were the white men, blah blah blah, soldier person, and then there was the dead Indian. You know, yeah, I can't wait to get to walking better. I want to go down to the campsite down on the river behind the house, but my heart's been acting weird, and I'm a little afraid to go back there in the back and then have some kind of little heart spell or something and not be able to check it. So um, I don't want to be afraid to do things anymore, because I'm a little short of breath and my heart goes pitter patter a time or two, or my blood pressure is too low or something. But at the same time, I gotta go. I gotta go back down to the river. I gotta go camping again, and I can't be afraid to do it. There's just I'm gonna take my medicine and I'm gonna be a good boy, but I gotta go camping. I gotta go back down on the river and stuff. I'm missing out on that a lot. But my current health situation is I want it to be better. That's why I haven't been camping recently. But you know, I need to get over that, and me and Doug are going to go one way or the other, and without being overzealous. I'm not going to take any chances, but damn it, I want to go to the river whether I get on it or not. I want to go and sit beside it. I got to go have that water connection. And I have not had it in a while. And my spirit is begging for it. I did a water journey before I went in the hospital back in March, but we haven't been near the water since then. And gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Gotta go, gotta go. But my birthday's coming up. Um, let's see, in 2 Sundays from now ish. And so I'm hoping that the weather will be cool enough, even, and I will be feeling a little better health wise. Um, I'll be a little stronger by then, and maybe I can go down and at least sit by the river if I don't go boating. Come on, now I'm waiting on this thing to come floating by, and it just ain't cooperating. Oh well, I'll turn off the camera and or turn off the live stream, and it'll show up. That's how things work out. But so anyway, I always make the the offer whether it's my birthday or not. But looking at the cool weather coming up, y'all want to get together? If anybody's in the neighborhood, let me know. I got a pile of wood that needs to get burnt out here, and also, time to go to the river again. If nothing but to sit beside it and watch the starlights shining off of the water. That's a pretty thing in and of itself when you see the reflection of the universe in the water. So it's been an hour and 37 minutes, and I'm gonna clock out here with y'all. I'm gonna take another hit and say, "Here's a 20. Let's share." But I want to go get my supper out of the toaster oven that I didn't eat because we we went live. And Duggar's looking at me like he's got to go outside. So, but I love you all, and good night, Sheila. I was really hoping it was gonna one of them orbs was gonna come by. Oh well. I promise it happened earlier. But so yeah, but I need to learn how to do StreamYard so I can share the pictures and prove to y'all all of what I've been talking about over these last few years about the orbs. And yeah, you stay safe too. Yeah, all y'all, it's good to see you, and thank you. This is not an all-nighter. Um, I want to get some rest so I can try to get something done tomorrow. Yeah. Plus, I haven't had any dinner, and since yesterday was such a lousy day, today has turned out fairly decent. But if I sit here and yak at you any longer, then that means it'll be longer before I get to eat something. You know what I mean? So there's tit for tat in that area. But I love you all, and I do pray every day that each and every day that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings from the universe. And whether you believe in other spirits or not, just have faith in what you do believe in. And that's one big thing, is to believe, 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 believe. And if seeing orbs will make you understand that there are other things in this universe that we can't see, and that, there is more to this universe than what just meets the eye, then you can believe in the higher spirits because there's proof that they exist. So I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to understand and how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many, many blessings in the universe. Let them orbs talk to you, especially the good ones. We don't want no Charlie Mansons now. But in that law of three, which is still important to me, is that I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings out there in the universe. And sometimes they just float around in your house too. So thank you, everyone. Have a good morning. Have a good rest of the week. Um, the temperatures are coming down, and it's not so bad outside. The sun is moving further down into the southern sky. It's getting nighttime sooner. I'm probably you've noticed. So be safe as the weather changes and as the season changes. In another week and a half, it'll be the first day of fall. So, looking forward to that, my friends. So, until then, until I see you again, y'all be safe and keep it between the ditches. Cheers, everybody. I love you and be safe. See you.